meeting to order at 6:25. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes for March 26, 2019.
So moved. Second.
Okay, so Will moved it and Steve seconded it. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes, the draft minutes of March 26, 2019, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the special meeting on April 2nd with the fire department.
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes from the special meeting on April 2nd, 2019 with the fire department, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Additions and deletions, I'd like to add under correspondence, some news about the dam bridge, and that is DAM bridge, not the swear word, please. Oops. And a piece of correspondence from HCRS. And under new business, I'd like to add appointments. Are there any other additions or deletions? Hearing none, then I will entertain a motion to take the agenda out of order and move to number 7, members of the public first.
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of taking the agenda out of order and taking members of the public first, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. So technically, we're not moving to 7, although we are. We're going to do 9A and B, is what we're actually doing with Sherwood. So you all had in your box an authorization for emergency delegation of authority that Sherwood did in fact draft. And what that does is that allows, in this particular case, the emergency management, don't tell me I don't have that. The emergency management director to spend up to $10,000 in community funds without the board having to convene to approve the expenditure. And that's usually for things like food or numerous other items that would come up in an emergency that we would not be able to get together to pre-approve. So part of our plan has to have someone with the authority to spend that money. And he's kindly going to do that, I guess, if he really wants to. So I would entertain a motion then to appoint Sherwood Lake as the person responsible for the emergency declaration authority to do expenditures on the town's behalf in the event of an emergency.
So moved.
Second.
Is there any discussion on what's going on, what this is about?
No, this is for in the event of a natural disaster, coordinated
Well,
emergency response.
It could be any kind of a disaster.
Right.
It could be a shooting, it could be a, the bubonic plague may make its way up here, who knows?
Okay.
So, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of appointing Sherwood Lake as the person responsible for overseeing or having the ability to delegate funds, municipal funds in the event of emergency, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Okay, so just like that. Okay, and the next piece is going to be, I don't think you all have the actual emergency management plan. No, excuse me, local emergency management, LEMP. I'm going to do this right now. We've done this every year, and we are required to do it every year. And I'll actually let Sherwood explain to you the changes that were done this year, but pretty much everything is the same as it's been in the past. Anybody who would like to see a copy?
And there, copy. You'd like to see it. Sure.
Now, did you go ahead and fill in the expenditure piece, or are you going to do that after the fact?
I'm gonna do that afterwards. The biggest thing is this page right here, out of all of it.
Yeah.
So basically, we filled out what's been known as the LEOP for years, Local Emergency Operations Plan. The state has decided to rename it. Now it's the Local Emergency Management Plan. Essentially, that document is the same thing that you've seen the last couple of years, just with things in different places. They did expand it to a long form that pretty much has you planned for every possible thing that you could possibly think of, everything from water main breaks, which we don't have, right down to, or right up to the biggest events possible. This is what they call the short form. Most of the stuff in the long form really doesn't apply to us. It's just too in-depth. It is something that I envision before long we're going to have to drill on. They're probably going to set some kind of a requirement at some point down the road for us to drill on this type of plan. I don't know what that's going to look like. As soon as I do know, I'll let you know. We may be talking a year, we may be talking 2 years, and it'll be basically a tabletop exercise. And this is primarily a list of people, resources, things we need to check, things we need to make sure that are covered under the state mandates.
So, any questions?
I notice there's not a alternate EOC location.
Not yet.
Is that because it's not necessary, or?
There's a
We
lot
don't
of
have one.
logisticals. Well, we have potentials, but there's a lot of logistical issues in an alternative EOC. Radio communication is going to be one of them. Actual telephone communication or cell tower usage. We have had offers from rescue, and we did list at one point the hospital. But since everything is right here, if the hospital's available for an EOC, so
This
are
probably
we.
is too, right?
Yeah, so right now, we don't have a good place for a secondary one. So we may end up in the back of a pickup truck. If it
comes to
cuts
it.
that way. Well, the state took, after they spent the however millions of dollars on their EOC up in Waterbury and it got flooded the first time out, they started contingencies for packing everything up in the back of the truck. A big box with their radios in it, and off they go, so that they could set it anywhere.
So, any other questions or any other discussion about what's in the plan, or? No? All
It's an
right.
awful lot like last year.
It does, it just got a little bit different format. So what we need to do is we need to adopt, because what I'm signing is says, I hereby certify that the LEMP meets Vermont National Incident Management Systems requirements and current LEMP implementation guidance as on page 2. That's actually you signing that one. I attest to the fact that the municipality has adopted it as an LEMP. So I need a motion toward that end.
I would move
Adopt.
to adopt the LEMP as written.
For a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor of adopting the local emergency management plan as written, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. So there's the 2 pieces you need signatures. Okay. There's that. I think that's all you need. That was your
That's all.
original plan.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And-
Thank you, Sherwood, for agreeing to do this.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for your help.
Okay, where are we here? So now what we'll need to do. What we'll need to do is take the agenda back into order, so we'll move back up to the warrants.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 1, payroll, in the amount of $10,567.81.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying payroll warrant number 1 in the amount of $10,567.81, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 2, payroll taxes, in the amount of $4,608.41.
We have a different number.
No, that's okay. This was Carla's first time doing it, and I wasn't here to help her. So that's.
So what's the number?
What's the new number?
$608.41.
Thank you. Was there a second on that?
Second.
Is there any discussion?
What's the difference in the two numbers?
One is with the withholdings taken out of it, the other is the entire amount,
Okay.
the bigger number.
Thank you.
And it's in a different place, they're in two separate places on the warrant. Any other discussion? Hearing none, then all those in favor of paying payroll tax warrant number 2 in the amount of $4,608.41, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a warrant, I'd make a motion to pay warrant number 3 out of the general fund, the amount of $8,187.67.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying general fund warrant number 3 in the amount of $8,187.67, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 4 out of the general fund, the amount of $47.56.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying general fund warrant number 4 in the amount of $47.56, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 5 out of the highway fund, the amount of $10,417.50.
Second.
That is correct. Is there any discussion?
Yes. As someone who was in the pit every day since they started, I have to question the amount of yardage that we're being invoiced for, and I would like to investigate that further before we go forward.
Okay. Do you have a way of estimating the yardage? Is it, since you're pulling at the same time they're crushing?
Yes. I have a number in my head. It's lower than that number.
Okay.
I would like to speak with Mike to find out how he came up with that number, how they're keeping track of it. I need a better comfort level for what we're getting invoiced for.
And because that's the third invoice of the group.
But the first one for this season, because they just started a week ago yesterday.
Right, but this was approved on the 12th of June, okay, the contract for FY19.
Correct.
So this is all out of FY19. This is the third invoice for the for the fiscal year 19.
Correct.
Okay. So then,
First one under my watch.
there you go. So, okay, is there any further discussion then on that one? All right, then all those in favor of paying highway warrant number 5 in the amount of $10,417.50, signify by saying aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? Okay, Carla, this is different. The motion failed for lack of a quorum.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 6 out of the highway fund, the amount of $3,865.16.
Second.
Is there any discussion? I just have one comment, and this came to light when we were going through the bills. We finally received a bill from Countryside
Yep.
for your fire alarm system. They're going to be charging us $220 a year, just like they do at the town hall to go out. Now, I'm assuming you'll be more diligent in watching and making sure that the service is done as per contract.
Correct.
That's been in the past. What we don't have is any place to put this in the financial records, because there was never a line for fire protection in the
Oh, for the highway?
Yeah, for the highway
Oh,
garage.
Really?
And the debate has begun, and I'm not really certain which way to go with this. The debate has begun does that a charge that technically belongs to the highway, or does that belong to the town? We own the building,
Yep.
but it's your equipment that we're protecting, so.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
not
also
su- I'm not sure-
protecting the building, but, yeah, I don't know.
And we're not really sure where that should land.
Okay.
So for right now, it's in the highway, because rather than confusing it with what's going on in the town, but we need to have that discussion at some point as to where to put the garage
Mhm.
fire protection, whether it's a municipal function or a highway
Okay.
function, okay?
Do we have any other buildings that are protected?
Not that we're,
Not that.
not like that,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, is there any other discussion on that? Hearing none, then all those in favor of paying highway warrant number 6 in the amount of $3,865.16 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes.
Make a motion to pay check warrant number 7 out of the equipment fund in the amount of $1,820.78.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of paying equipment warrant number 7 in the amount of $1,820.78 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? The motion passes. Okay, so that's all the warrants. That's all that. That's all that. Those are not needed. So then we'll start with the highway then, on the reports.
I was going to report that gravel crushing resumed a week ago yesterday, and we have been using the material to getting the roads shaped up as the mud season is underway. Some roads are in good condition, some roads have required stone and gravel, but we are keeping up with it. I was also going to read a correspondence that I received on the dam, but I'll wait for Kathy to do that under correspondence. And I need tires for the grader. The 4 rear tires are completely bald. The front tires are at 25%. I did get 2 quotes from Pete's and Cheevers. Cheevers is the lower at $8.90 a tire, plus $45 mounting per tire.
Wow.
Do you have any idea how old those tires are?
Not that old.
I do not.
What was the other quote?
$1,200 from Pete's.
I'm sorry, can you repeat Cheevers?
I'm sorry?
Can you repeat Cheevers?
$8.90 per tire, plus $45 per tire for dismount and mount. We don't get those balanced.
You don't go that fast. Again, you had asked me to get you a budget status report for the highway, or for the equipment.
Yep.
And the equipment is so not clear this year because of all the different purchases that have landed in this year. The loader landed in this year, the little tractor landed this year, and the
one ton.
What?
The truck.
Yeah, the one ton. They all are here, so that it's taken that budget and it's really kind of turned it around. But it appears that equipment budget, with the work they've been doing on the vehicles and whatnot, is severely over budget. So the question becomes, do you want to go 6,000? Is that where we are? 5,000? About 5,000. Over budget to put tires on the road.
Right.
Right.
That's ultimately what he's asking you.
Right. You need the tires, you need the tires, right?
Well, do we need to get all 6, or can we get the back and then get the?
I'm happy to get the 4 back. The 2 front ones are at 25%. We could live with that for another season.
Is there any difference in the Cheever's tire compared to Pete's tire?
No.
Are they same make, model?
Yep. And recaps are not available in that size, so I did research that.
Those are big tires.
Yeah. I would move that we allocate money to buy the 4 rear tires and hold off on the front.
And do we need the rear tires like immediately, or can we go?
They should be done now.
The-
He made me go look at them. They should be done
Yeah,
now.
there's no pattern left at all, and actually the rubber's starting to separate.
And it will get a heck of a use this spring.
I mean, the grader has been out every day since we started, for the exception of yesterday because of the rain.
So you made the motion, was there a second for that, to buy the four
I
rears?
probably can't second it, can I?
Second, I can
Nope.
second.
You seconded it? Okay, so Crystal seconds it. Is there any further discussion on that? No. Then hearing none, all those in favor of purchasing 4 rear tires for the grader, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Aye.
Okay, the motion passes.
That's all I have.
Oh my goodness. Mud and tires, that's all you have, huh? Well, it's not tire change, well,
It's the time of year.
What if we ran the tires with tire change?
there you go, then you have tread.
You don't end up with a very good grading job.
You have tread on them though. Okay, you all should have gotten a copy of the town clerk's counter money for the 2 weeks. So town treasurer,
The sweep account, $746,746.75. The checking account, we got $31,003.
any questions?
Isn't the checking account supposed to cap at 30?
Well, it just
Yeah.
means they haven't moved something, or he put a deposit in, they haven't moved it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Any other
It
questions?
goes over quite frequently because somebody will take some out and they'll add to it, but it'll go over.
Gotcha.
The next time that somebody catches.
Goes the opposite.
Back there.
All right, so then, moving on to correspondence, the dam news, as in the dam, road, bridge. Oh, well, I'm not gonna go there, anyway. This just came to everyone's attention this morning, so don't shoot the messenger, please. From Concord, Mass, the Spillway Bridge on Dam Road at the Townshend Dam in Townsend, Vermont will be closed for painting and other work from April 12th through May 31st, 2019, according to officials from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, New England District. The detour route is State Forest Road. A $480,200 contract to do the work was awarded on September 24th to P.S. Bruckle, Inc. of Avon, New York. The bridge is located at Townsend Dam and is the Spillway Bridge on Dam Road. Sounds like I'm swearing a lot. The contract
Wait
includes...
till the camera goes off.
Yeah, really. The contract includes painting the bridge, replacing miscellaneous nuts and bolts, sealing the concrete approach slabs, repairing bridge grout pads, and replacing a section of the approach guardrail. The bridge will be closed for public access from May 12th through May 31st, 2019. Motorists should use the detour route, State Forest Road.
April 12th.
What did I say?
May.
I'm sorry, no, April 12th through May 31st. And then it just goes on to clarify that, and this is just for a matter of, we can all sit back and sigh, having gone down this road once before. The Townsend Dam is 1,700 feet long, 133 feet high, and costs $7.4 million to construct. Its lake can hold 33,700 acre feet, or 10.8 billion gallons of water. Since it was placed in operation in 1961, it has prevented flood damages of $144.1 million. The reservoir area offers many recreational opportunities, including swimming, picnicking, fishing, hunting, canoeing, boating, and nature study, and annually attracts nearly 81,000 visitors.
Wow, we gotta cut the smoke here, they're blowing too much
You
smoke
think
at
so?
us.
Can you still see us here, Richard, or do we need to turn the fans on? So, for
They're
the,
closing it over Memorial Day weekend?
yes, they are.
That's foolish.
What's the date of your, and that's a press release?
This is a press release, it was April 8th,
Okay,
yesterday.
Can I read what I?
Sure, what would you get to
Okay.
the info?
So I did receive a phone call and I received backup email. Attached is our proposed detour. At this time, we are aiming to close the bridge for a 2-week period, beginning on April 22nd. Now, they asked for the 12th and I told them no because State Forest Road is too wet to handle additional traffic. Beginning on April 22nd, there is a possibility that due to weather, this may need to get pushed back to begin on April 29th. So they're telling me a 2-week period, beginning on April 22nd.
So yours is a much better news for the
Yeah.
people that live out there.
And attached is
Is this like a weather forecast? or
Yeah,
something? Like it
exactly.
could change any moment?
Attached is the signage that they will put out at the intersections of Route 30 and State Forest on the Wardsboro line. If anybody would like to see that traffic plan. So that's what I received.
Okay.
And I did have phone conversation, and this is a backup email.
All right, so everybody just.
That sounds way more reasonable.
Everybody needs to know that it's going to be closed and make plans accordingly. As we found out, it doesn't work real well.
Should I make a warning?
Huh?
Should I make a warning to post?
No, it sounds like they're going to be.
They're handling
Oh,
They're noticing
Yeah.
that.
all the signage, yes.
Alrighty, so that takes care of that piece. The other one is an HCRS letter that we received. And it says, "Dear Ms. Heggie, I'm writing to thank you and the residents of Townsend for the vote on town meeting day approving financial support in the amount of $550 for health care and rehabilitation services Access Navigator program. We sincerely appreciate the support from the citizens of Townsend. These funds will help us to ensure services for all citizens who are in need of them. Again, thank you for your support." So that was the other piece of correspondence that was there. Then I guess we could always ask the other member of the public if the other member of the public has anything that the other member wants to say? No? Okay. So I guess there's nothing else there. Then we're on to the old business, and that's the financing on the traffic. So, I have filled out the municipal loan forms, with the exception of what we're purchasing, who we're purchasing from, and the cost. We had 2 bids, one from Patriot and one from, well, who was it?
Charlie Boys.
Charlie Boys, that's right, for the Western Star dump. Is there any discussion on that? We looked at the bid amounts the last time. Is there any discussion, any questions? Anybody need to review?
What's your thoughts, Steve?
I'm comfortable moving forward with Patriot. And the reason why I feel comfortable is since the acquisition of Patriot by ATG, they have a different management group in there. All of the techs have gone through new training with Western Star. So I can't comment to all of the history that the town of Townsend has had with L&B and Patriot, but I've had a good experience so far with the new management team of ATG.
And they would, the Patriot would take the trade, correct?
Yes. Yeah, in my mind, that's one of the most, having had to sell the Sterling,
Yeah.
which was difficult
Yeah.
to get it placed and arranged to have somebody there to bring the truck out to wash it so they could look at it. It was difficult to handle that in-house, the selling that vehicle. So having it as a trade-in doesn't take that one piece off of our plate.
Mhm.
So, again,
Well, I would move that we go forward with the purchase of the truck from Patriot using the financing from the Vermont Municipal Equipment Loan Fund.
We're gonna put two of them together.
Sure.
So moved.
Is there any discussion on that? All right, then hearing none, all those in favor of purchasing the cabin chassis for the new dump truck from Patriot, what is it, Patriot Freightliner? What's their official name, is that it? Patriot Freightliner?
That's what's on their letterhead, but they are owned by Advanced Truck Group, which is ATG. They've acquired 4 Western Star dealerships in the New England area.
Okay. For an amount of $107,873. So that was, okay, all those in favor of purchasing that vehicle from Patriot for that amount of money, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. So now the question becomes, how much of this do you want to borrow? And we can borrow up to $110,000 or 75% of the purchase price, whichever is smaller. So at $107,873, which is not the full price of the truck.
Correct.
That's just the cabin chassis.
trade.
Correct.
So it's gonna be 170 is what we anticipated, right?
Correct.
Mhm.
Correct.
You're really gonna challenge me tonight, aren't you? So let's do 1, 2,
42 and a half.
is that what it, yeah, it would be. So that'd be, so it's 170 minus 42, 50.
I have a calculator.
And 7. You get 137.8. What do you get?
What were the numbers?
Okay, you're borrowing, we put in the town report for the entire assembly, including the work to put the bed on, etc. It was 170,000.
Yep.
We can borrow up to 75% of that.
Which is 127.5.
Unless I miscounted. Yeah, I would. So 127.5. Okay. So now we also have in the, this year's budget, we put in $50,000 in anticipation of having to replace the grader. And one of the discussions we've had earlier was the fact that number one, we weren't certain the grader was in need of replacement at this point in time. And we also talked about the potential of leasing the grader instead of an outright purchase. So that $50,000 is currently going to be sitting in the equipment fund one way or another, because it's currently being raised in taxes. The question becomes, do you want to repurpose it? Since we're talking about leasing a grader, do you want to repurpose that toward the purchase of this truck? Do you want to raise the entire balance in taxes? How would you like to do this?
I would like to use the 50,000 that was set aside for the grader.
Are we
That
able
sounds
to do
reasonable.
that? We're able to.
It was not a
It's
special,
not
it was not a special article, it was just contained in the budget.
Mhm.
There wasn't any kind of a directed, voter-directed expense.
Yeah, I think that
I'd support that then.
saves the most taxpayer money.
Okay, so we're looking at 127.5, and if we apply that, that's going to be, yeah, oh God, I'm not working well tonight. So 77.5
Yep.
is what we're looking at potentially borrowing. So is everybody comfortable with that piece?
Yes.
So then but that's absolutely nothing but the first payment that we would be applying to taxes. Now we haven't set the tax rate yet, so we can actually anticipate paying part of that or raising part of that in taxes as well to go along with that 50. That's my question to you. How much you want to raise in taxes?
as little as possible.
Well, that's fine, but sooner or later you have to pay for it.
Mhm.
And considering how fast we're blowing through equipment, we're gonna have to try to keep our head above water, because these pieces aren't cheap. But yeah, at this point in time, with what we just talked about here, we are going to, on the FY20 taxes, we're not gonna have to raise a nickel if we do it, if we finance all of that we're talking about. And we can go that way if that's where you wanna go. That's just gonna make bigger payments down the road. So what's your pleasure?
So we could borrow 127 through the equipment fund.
That's the maximum we
So-
can borrow.
Why did you take the 50 off the 127 and then say we're gonna borrow 77 instead of 127?
Well, because we have the potential to borrow the 127 from the bank as opposed to raising it in taxes. But we've already got 50 to apply to that, so that leaves 77,500. Plus, I guess, plus
No, yeah.
the difference, okay. I
Yeah, we
forgot
should
the difference,
apply the
that's
50 to the outstanding
Yeah, you're
portion.
Right.
So 127,8 less the 50. No, it wasn't 8, it was 5, 127,5. So 500. So that leaves 77,500, okay.
Wait, no, it's,
We gotta hold the
no,
total.
no, you take the 50 from the 170
From 170,
Right,
That's right.
because the total.
and then borrow the balance.
correct,
Right.
Just 120.
right.
See, we can't borrow 120.
The
Maximum is 110.
So we need to
So
come up
we
with
borrow-
10,000.
So we borrow 110,
110 and come up with
apply
10.
10 to the tax
Right.
rate.
Right,
We can do it that way.
right.
So is that the feeling that we're going to
What's the
borrow?
rate that we're borrowing from?
Let's see, it's what, 2%?
2% to the state.
And what's the length of term?
5 years.
The amount of loan should be no more than 75% of the purchase price and shall be repaid in no more than 5 years. Annual interest rate on loans from the fund for loans on to a single municipality is 2%. Application deadline is April 15th, which is why we're having this discussion.
Yeah, so we raise 10, borrow 110, apply the 50,
Correct.
we're home.
I think that's the
I
way
think
I'd like
so.
to go.
Okay, so this is, need to make a note to myself so we don't lose this in the trends. So we're going to borrow 110. We're going to raise it was 10, wasn't it? Yeah.
We'll apply the 50.
50. Okay. That's what we'll do. So we can, I'll actually let Steve finish filling out this section in here with the details. So then, have we already voted on all of this? No, we haven't voted on.
No, we haven't voted on
financing.
borrowing. Right.
So someone want to make
All
a
right.
motion to that effect?
I would move that we borrow 110,000 from the Vermont Municipal Equipment Loan Fund, raise $10,000 in taxes, and apply the $50,000 that we had sort of earmarked for the grader to fund the purchase of the truck.
Second.
Second.
Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all those in favor of borrowing $110,000 from the Vermont Equipment Loan Fund, raising $10,000 in taxes and applying $50,000 that's already been raised for the grader to the purchase of this new vehicle, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. So, let me say, that has to go in What is today, the ninth?
Today's the, yeah,
Yeah, by next Friday? No,
well, by next Monday.
Monday.
Okay, so I'll have it back here tomorrow.
Okay,
And
and we'll get it in the mail. Yeah. All right. I don't even think it needs to be signed, I think it's already been signed. Or made a copy of it, needless to say.
Joe has signed it, Kathy has signed it.
Okay, so you're good to go, all right. We'll get it in the mail then. All right, then moving on down to, really?
Appointments?
Yeah, is there anything else other than the appointments?
Nope.
I don't think so.
Cool. All right, so Carla did give you an updated sheet on the appointments from the last time. I think we can approach some people or have, maybe ask Carla to do it. Since she said she was bored, we'll give her something to do. Maybe have her try to get a hold, particularly in the 911 coordinator piece, get a hold of Patricia Durez to see if she's still willing to do that. Again, contact Bryant Smith for the 911 fire liaison. Talk to Craig about remaining on the cell tower. Eamon DeWitt has been a fence viewer since I can remember. So someone probably would need to get in touch with Eamon and see if he's still interested in that position. The Howard Legacy, we haven't talked to any of these people, which is unfortunate because Alice was here.
I can talk to Alice this week if you'd like.
That would be helpful if you could get a hold of her and ask her if she's willing to stay on the Howard Legacy. Barbara Bedorf is fairly easy to get a hold of, and Eileen Fahey. It's not too bad. So we'll check on those particular people to see if they're still interested in serving in that position. The other one we need to talk about in particular are the 2 open seats on the Planning Commission. You have Robert DeServo's position expire as of town meeting, and we already had 1 open slot. So you currently have a Planning Commission of 3 people, and they're having a difficult time getting a quorum from what I understand. So it would be probably to our betterment if we could find, or at least advertise for those 2 open seats so that hopefully we can find somebody that would fill them, has an interest in working with the Planning Commission. So I would entertain a motion to that effect that we warn the 2 openings in the Planning Commission, one for a term to expire, must be 5-year terms.
Yeah.
So it must be one to expire in
2024,
and then one to expire, 26?
No, it would be serving out the 20, it would expire in 22 because it's an open seat.
That's true, it wouldn't change it,
Right.
change the date. That's
Right.
So,
So someone can get in on a
on
3-year internship.
Yeah. So we would need to offer a position or appoint a position for 5 years on the open seat and 2 years remaining on one expiring in 22.
Yeah.
So someone ready to make that motion?
Would we also like to include tree warden in the warning?
That's not unlike the planning commission, while it is an appointment, we've never gone that route. We can if you want. We can advertise a position because he's already said he doesn't want to serve in that
Right.
position any longer.
Yeah,
We could certainly do that.
I would like to, yeah, I think we should add that on.
Okay, so 2 seats on the planning commission
And the tree warden.
And the tree warden.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion on that? All right, so all those in favor of advertising those 3 positions, tree warden and 2 open seats on the planning commission, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion passes. Do we want just a letter of interest? We just want a name? What do we want?
Make a letter of interest. Suffice.
Okay. There's another one. New thing you get to learn tomorrow, Carla. Is how to do that warning. All right.
So we're warning for a letter of interest?
A warning for the open seats.
For the-
Oh, so it's-
Okay, and we're still looking for Valley Cares Board and Visiting Nurse Association. We never
You can
did
ask
get
if
it.
Clerk cares if you want.
And senior
I can ask
solutions.
if Valley Cares, for Valley Cares, and Senior Solutions if you want.
Senior Solution, we have tried for years to find somebody to fill Janet Stoll's seat. It hasn't been filled since she passed away.
Let me ask.
That would be great if you could find someone. And they've even come asking us if we could appoint somebody because they desperately need people to serve. So anything else so that you see any of these people and you want to just ask them if they're willing to continue in the position that they've been serving in, so we can get this finished. All right? And we'll get this updated for the next time around to see, so if you could let us know if someone is interested or expresses an interest in any of those seats, so that we can at least have their names available to vote on next time. All right, so if there is nothing else, any other additional business that anybody's aware of? No?
I move to adjourn.
No! Damn it, you're gonna learn to stop doing that. That time I said it on camera and I meant with the end. You need to let me finish speaking before you adjourn, because technically when you say that, we're done,
Got it.
okay? I just wanted to make note of the fact that the next meeting is April 23rd, and we will be opening bids for audits. That's right, I'm gonna get to smacking in a minute.
I will not be here at the next meeting,
Okay.
just so that everyone's aware.
All right, so now, since he's already said it, we're adjourned. Thank you.